Hey, I'm Nate, your masculinity and mindset coach. Today I'm going to be talking about how taking things personally is costing you your success. I've described before that when you have an external frame of reference, when you place power outside of yourself, for instance, the power of someone external to you having control over your state of mind, your state of emotions, then you're sabotaging your ability and influence in creating your own outcomes. Because the moment that you buy in to an external reference, the moment that you are triggered by some external source or influence, then you're giving your power over to that influence and you no longer have direction of how you respond. So it's very important, especially in the context of business, high stakes negotiations and business dealings, to be able to moderate your emotions and how you respond such that you can respond in a resourceful and strategic way. Now, at the foundation of this is what I describe as masculine frame. When you have masculine frame, you have an internal sense of authority and an internal frame of reference such that you, being connected to the resourcefulness of yourself and not attached to the need for validation, acceptance, approval from someone external to you, you are less easily triggered and you're more capable and able to stay present and centered even in heated conversations, even if you have a disagreement with someone. See, someone who's lacking masculine frame, someone who hasn't worked on developing an internal frame of reference, will easily be pulled into an external frame of reference. What I mean by that is that when someone has a difference of opinion, you buy into the external person's frame because you feel that you're being attacked. So their words that challenge you essentially deprive you of your own sense of self in some capacity that you feel the need to defend yourself. If you had a strong sense of self, if you have a strong identity, then it's very difficult for someone external to you to say anything that will have you give away your peace, give away your centeredness, give away your ability and power to respond. Because when you do so, you actually lack power in the circumstance or situation because the other person's calling the shots. When you have developed an internal frame of reference, you don't take things personally. You realize that the person that is interacting with you has a perception, but it has little bearing on your perception of self. You don't take things personally. You are measured and strategic in your response. And you realize that that person has little awareness of you, your past, your history, your experience. Now, it's not to say that someone's perception of you is not important. It's just that it doesn't govern or dictate how you make your own decisions. You might consider a person's perception of you in a general sense, but you don't let it determine your sense of value and esteem because you've already established that within. See, the path of developing a strong sense of self, the strong internal frame of reference and an internal authority, a process of developing self-esteem, of continual evaluation, and a consistency and application of right endeavor to develop self-confidence. From that place, when someone has a derogatory remark, if someone even attacks you in some way, it will have little impact on you because you already have such a strong sense of self, a high level of esteem and confidence. It's so important to develop masculine frame in the context of business, and so few people are actually teaching this. And another component to this, another thing about being triggered or taking things personally, is often you have weak foundations because there's unresolved childhood traumas that are subconsciously influencing you in your reactions to environmental circumstances. For instance, if you felt rejected in some way in your childhood, you might seek to avoid rejection later on in life. So the impact that this will have is that you're less likely to ask for what you want in deals. You're more likely to compensate in some way, to discount, and you're more likely, for instance, to be vulnerable to another person's impressions or decisions because the sensitivity of that wound of for instance, fear of rejection, can easily be triggered by the comments or statements of someone else. In the clients that I work with, often when I begin to resolve the childhood traumas, the subconscious patterns and limiting beliefs that prevent someone from experiencing the success that they desire, this is further compounded in terms of the benefit when they begin to develop their masculine mindset, because they become strong, capable, resourceful, aligned, embodied, and focused towards their outcome. And they develop themselves in their esteem. So these two elements, resolving subconscious and childhood traumas and limiting beliefs, combined with developing masculine frame, really superpower your success as a man. So if this is something that is of interest to you, I highly encourage you to reach out to me. I'll be posting a lot more content on this topic going forward. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.